What is up? No bells or whistles today. So my wife works from home too. So we both pretty much work from home. We have our system set up here. So um, I can't do as much or do the things that I want to without disturbing my the signal here. It'll get all shaky and patchy. You guys will start thinking it's your internet, but really it's mine. Plus, we got the kids on their tablets. What is up, Beach Fairy? That's awesome, Derek. I love growing my own trees. Mine are doing extremely well. I have some indoor, and then I have some outdoor in the garden. They're not ready yet. I'm not going to flower them. I'm trying to get the biggest yield possible out of them, and they're doing really well. They're healthy, got all the nutrients they can handle. And I took some clones from the big bush I have outside in the garden, and to my surprise, all four of them took root and we're ready to go within 2 weeks. So I was happy about that. What's up, D? Olivia, Vanessa. Well, there's the calling link. Let me see if I can pin it. Yeah, this is going to be just a real chill show. This is going to be podcast style. We can talk about anything you want, Delphi, um, whatever. Get it off your chest. Alrighty. So the calling link is pinned in the chat box. Yeah, 2 weeks, man. They were already growing new leaves and starting to grow. It was awesome. They're looking good. Yeah, the plants I have indoors, they're just barely popping over the scrug net or the scrog. What's up, Dan? What's up, Jessica? Kid Rise. What you cooking? Yeah, that's just a rumor. I mean, they would have been talking about that from the get go. And I didn't mean to jump down Holly's throat or anything, but I mean, come on. It's been 5 years. We need to put together the facts the best we can and then build speculation from that. Like, it's okay to come up with conspiracies and speculation, but they need to be coming from a good, a good foundation. The Ron Logan and Anthony Shot stuff is a really good place to start. What's up, Purdue? D, Stefa, hello. Did you see the post from Bridgeburner regarding Shade Evans and Cody Patty? Yeah, I saw that. It doesn't mean they're good friends. You gotta remember this is a small town. They both went to the same high school, and they're both the same age. Um, the fact that they have Facebook posts where they're tagged in each other and they're both on the same wrestling team or something like that. I mean, it doesn't make them best friends, and it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, think about it. You have two perfectly innocent people who have nothing to do with the crime that happen to be friends at a certain time. How is it connected to the crime? It's not. The only way it's connected to the crime is that Cody Patty and Kelsey walked across the bridge the day of the murders. That's the only thing that I find questionable, but I also find it helpful that they did that. If there's the last known picture of the girls is on the bridge, I mean, common sense tells you, hey, cross the bridge and let's go look over there. Same with Pat Brown. He's like, I know this area. If they're out here, I'm going to find them. So hey, Ron Logan, like, you know what? I think the best place to search would be back here because nobody's assuming they crossed the creek. He's like, well, what if they did cross the creek? We'll most likely find it back in this area if something, possibly. It seems to be an area that nobody's looking at. Somebody, because that's really is his backyard too. Derek, she was with a friend. Um, Not sure where they were staying, but she was definitely with a friend, and this friend introduced her or was talking to Anthony Shots, sending pictures to him, and then guess who was in those photos was Libby and whoever else was at this little sleepover, and then she began talking to him as well. So I'm wondering if that's who they were fighting over. Maybe they got in a big fight. Maybe he reached out to her and she accepted the friend request and they started fighting, or it was a setup and the friend was involved. But I mean, FBI guaranteed looked into that already. Jessica, I don't know. Yeah, he was at. I guess he was at CrimeCon recently too. There's a video online about it, and he was talking about the Delphi case. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. It's a new video. I think it came out yesterday. Ooh, pork sausage was out there. It's delicious. What's up, Susan? The friend she was arguing with introduced them, Derek. Yes. So there's an interview with Kelsey where she's talking about she was in a fight with one of her best friends, not Abby, and she was hoping to get back to the places they were when they were good friends. So to me, there's a motive there, especially if you're motivated there and you're fighting and you're angry. We don't know the mental state of the other person. That's why we look for insight and we watch all these other cases, mean teens and things like that, just so we can prove to our mind, our healthy mind, that this is possible. So we think in our mind, like, no, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old's not going to go and harm another 13, 14 young teen. But when we go and we look at these cases and we see that it in fact does happen and it happens brutally and more complex than we would have thought, yeah, it becomes viable. Yeah, you have to. You got to keep moving. What's up? Don't know what? You mean we don't know that? What's up, Willow? uploaded about Kim Kardashian. I mean, you gotta be careful. You don't know if he was hacked, especially when you got people attacking him. It's funny that people are attacking him, and then after that, there's news. You know, that's been an old attack method for a long time. You mess with somebody, they send you mess with a hacker or something, they'll send you a file. Click on the file, you open it, fills your whole computer with like um, child porn and stuff like that. And then they call the police on you. And when they check your system, they see that it's filled with that stuff. I'm not saying it's that complex. I'm just saying when somebody's after you and you're just a simple person, you're not out to do anything to hurt anybody. Maybe your password's easy to get to, or maybe somebody can access your StreamYard or uh, catfish you and fish for information like, oh, just like a criminal would. Oh, Randy, what's the name of your oldest pet? You know, what's the name? What school did you go to? What's the name of your high school? Oh, okay, well, now I'm in his email and I'm looking at all this stuff. People are out there. Oh, it was a real old video. Yeah, and I don't know the circumstances, so I don't want to speak on it too much. But I just know when you have enemies, they come after you. What's up, Frank? Hey, Seven. Good to see you, man. Yikes. That sounds terrifying. Real life nightmares. That's what this shit is, really. The girl from the slumber party who introduced LG to Anthony Shots account, the same girl who reported the ski mask guy to police, is also the girl who's longtime friends with KK. This girl is the key. I agree. You want to talk about Occam's razor? There you go. Because to me, the ski mask incident is really suspicious because it may not have happened. They may have just called in a fake report so that they can bring attention to the Anthony Shots account. And then once they bring attention to the Anthony Shots account, they know that the Anthony Shots account is attached to Keegan Klein, who they know is a child predator. And they may even know they were speaking to Libby. It could have been a setup, really. Um, but there's nothing that points to that. I'm just saying somebody needs to look into that. Hint, hint, FBI. Because we know Carroll County, we know Indiana State Police, we know they ain't going to do anything. They're probably fighting with each other. In regards to Randy. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, you don't know who we are. Just because you talk with us and we come on here all the time, you don't know who we really are. So I don't know if maybe I don't know this. I don't know the situation, so I'm not. I guess I'm not going to speak on it moving forward. What's up, Polygraph? Frank Meister. What's up, Frank? You want to call in? I think every Frank is a Frank Meister. Yeah, there should really be no interest in who I am personally. I mean, it would be good to know if I'm not like a child predator, something like that. If somebody feels the need to check on that, that's fine, but you don't need to speak on it, unless you find out, yeah, he is. But if a person's just, an average citizen, no felonies, they're not out to hurt anybody, like you shouldn't be attacking. I've never brought up a person of interest when it comes to the Delphi case that didn't either insert themselves, like JP, or that wasn't already a felon or for child crimes. That's it. So if you're attacking me, you're attacking somebody that is constantly bringing attention to child predators and awareness. So that's who you are. Yeah, because there's people that have spoken with the family, and they all deny it. But then again, the motivations of people. Why wouldn't you deny it? Because it's embarrassing. Your 14-year-old girl, 14-year-old daughter is freaking trying to hook up with some hot model while you're at work. You think you can trust these kids, but you can't. I mean, if you just do a little bit of homework, Charlie, you can find it. I'm not going to promote that kind of stuff on this channel. How did you know? She abuses me. No. If you turn your camera off, you get more bandwidth. That way it's not all choppy. I'm going live later tonight for the upgraded members, and my wife won't be online, and none of our systems will be set up. So I can use the camera, show videos, do intros, and do all that stuff. Yeah, I agree, Derek. Whether she's involved or not, she could have been used. She has a lot of older brothers. She has a father who was single at the time. Could be anybody using her or using the same approach that we're referring to that's connected to her. Um, I think in investigating, wouldn't that be the first thing is find the commonality? This friend is the commonality between those two, you know? And also you have killers who covet. So if you have, let's say, an older brother, father of a friend of hers, watching her, maybe spying on her, maybe with Keegan Klein, working with him together, because I heard that they were friends too. So, I mean, I think this case is much, much easier than we're thinking. Automatically, it's just so mysterious. That Hollywood production starts playing out in your mind. Oh, it's a serial killer. He's been going state to state, killing people. He even did the Flora fire. It's probably nothing like that. It's probably some pervert, maybe stalking somebody, took it too far, um, panicked, or was enraged. People get mad. People get really pissed off. Somewhere in Canada says girls that age can be really, really mean. I know because I was one long ago. Yeah, I was a really bad kid. I seen some really messed up stuff growing up. Like from the age of like 12 to 14, like I was out of control, and my parents had no clue. I mean, I saw friends shot. I saw friends stabbed. I was beat up. I was beating up people. Sexually active. Sex was all around me. And it's all because my family came from a small town. So when we moved into a nice neighborhood, there's surrounded by ghettos and stuff, and you're letting me wander around. And I go to school with a lot of these gangsters, of course. And my children are paying for it now because I'm overprotective. I'm expecting them to sneak out at night and go steal a car. I feel bad for him. Beach Ray says, "Yeah, the ski mask thing gets me every time. I wish we had more details about it." Well, it happened on the 20th, and I think it happened in Galveston, um, on like a back road. And the report is said that the person was basically messaging this guy saying, "Hey, when I get home, meet me, come to my place. I'll be alone, and we could hook up then." So as she's coming home, and it may have even been the next day. There was a news report that quoted it as the next day, but that's not what the transcript says. So she's getting off the bus, right? And the way these houses are, they're so spread out, these back country roads. I'm assuming that the bus driver has to stop at each house. So I'm assuming as she's getting off of the bus, she kind of catches somebody. And if there's somebody that was peeping around, they wouldn't be expecting some bus to just pull up and stop right where everybody can see you. So they might panic and run away. I don't know. But people that have interviewed that family specifically, they all deny that the incident even happened. What's up, Marlon? Bridge Burner says, "I said that very thing yesterday. You don't truly know any YouTuber. You only see what they allow you to. Well, that's why you just listen. Like when you're watching the news, you don't go, man, I wonder what that newscaster is really like. I can't trust them. You know, I'm going to do a background search on this guy." And then you find out he like has a charge for let's say domestic abuse or something in 1990. And then you go on a rampage like nobody watched Channel 3 News. Uh, the newscaster is a woman beater, something like that. Like it's like vigilante. You're focusing on the wrong stuff. Like you're focusing on the person. If you don't agree with the person, you don't watch them. But it's like you're not focusing on the reason or the content, you're focusing on the person. It's almost like you can't get to Bridge Guy, so it's easier to get to Randy. You know what I mean? So it's just like a killer would do. I can't take my frustrations on, Sleuth because he's going to fight back, you know? So I'm going to go take my frustration on these people over here that are weaker, or aren't ready. I'm not saying Randy's weak or anything. I'm just saying he's not looking for trouble. I'm the kind of person you come looking for trouble, you're going to get it. Yes, there is a police report out there about the ski mask incident. It is a real thing. Whether it's a real story or not, who knows? Lisa says, "I think a lot of people are connecting dots that shouldn't be connected and should just follow simple logic." Yeah, if you keep it simple, it could be right there. Think about it. A lot of kids at the bridge. Uh, I think it was Tara who said she sees them go under the bridge all the time. So if there's all these people at the bridge, let's say a group goes underneath the bridge and the girls go out are asked to meet them. So while there's a group under the bridge, once the girls enter the bridge, they have somebody else come from behind. Or maybe somebody was already coming to join the little group already and is trying to instruct the girls where everybody's at. Like we'll go down the hill, you know. Beach Curry, have you heard anything more on JP Sleuth? No. Yeah, we talk from time to time. I'll reach out to him and he'll just Sometimes he chooses to respond to me, and most times he doesn't. It's been a long time. I'll reach out to him and say, "Hey, what's going on?" Um, Usually we just talk about some videos and what videos he's okay with me having up and what videos he doesn't want up. So we just have our interviews up current, all the sensationalized stuff I took down. Yeah, Tara, I believe, is the one who post well, I don't know if she said it. I just know that you can find a so-called Facebook post from her, stating that. But you really can't trust that stuff either. Have you heard of Buster Hernandez, aka Brian Kill? No. What is that all about? What's up, Big Fish? Tattoo, what's up? Yeah, exactly. But man, that show was scary. How they would just sneak downstairs and go jump into a stranger's car right in front of their parents. I remember I watched one of these episodes and the kid came running down the stairs, jumped in the car, and they're like, "Where are you going?" "Oh, that I'm going to Ronnie's house." "Well, who is that?" "That's Ronnie's dad. That's Ronnie and his dad picking me up. I'll be back." And then they come outside with the cameras, and it's literally somebody like that catfished him. It's pretty scary, and it's messed up that the parents do that to their kids. Like, how easy would it be to be like, "Stop," and then walk out to the car, you know what I mean? And say, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you," and talk to the parents. Oh, it looks like we have somebody calling in. Give me one moment.
Hello.
Hi, is this Savannah?
Yes, it is. Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Savannah?
I'm good. Um, so I wanted to tell you about that Buster Hernandez guy.
Yeah.
Um, Hold on, it's like really quiet, so I had to see if I could hear you better, really quick. Okay, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
so Buster Hernandez, he like he lives in California, and he was like catfishing girls basically, or saying that he had like naked pictures of them and like using that to get them to send him more like
Sextortion.
exactly. And so he was doing this to kids in Indiana and also
Okay.
like
Is
in
this
Maine.
the guy? He was busted, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I know who you're referring to. I think he's the guy that called in the bomb threats and all that stuff, right? To the school. Hello? I think we lost Savannah. Savannah, we're going to hang out until you get clear if you want to call right back. She's talking about this gentleman who was catfishing these girls in Indiana. Are you there? I think I hear you now.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Is that the right guy? He called in some bomb threats and stuff too, right?
Yeah, correct. In
Yeah.
Indiana.
I did a
That's
show about him.
that to me that like almost I feel like that could possibly have something to do with it
Oh,
because
yeah.
that guy he was talking to this one girl and uh also he was like catfishing her younger sister, but he had like the code to their garage, and the younger sister ended up telling their parents, but the older sister, it had been going on for like over a year, and she hadn't told her mom anything.
Exactly. And it was brutal too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he even eventually like threatened to kill their whole family and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, yeah, and, like, I mean, just think of, like, all that pressure on, a 13-year-old where they have, like they think they either think there is or they do have, like, nude photos that they've sent to this
Hmm.
person and feel like their whole family's lives are, like, on their hands.
It's terrible. I mean, the same way that they can't deal with that kind of trauma, it's because they're children.
Uh-huh.
You're putting real life adult problems on a child who doesn't even know the corruption of the world yet. You're giving it
Right.
all to them in one giant dose. They're overdosing on life, is what you're doing, and they can't handle it. Um, like as an adult, if somebody was like, "Oh, I got a nude photo of Sleuth Intuition," I'm like, "I don't care. Do what you. That's gross, bro. Whatever, you know." You gotta talk to my wife about that. But
Yeah,
as a 14-year-old, if somebody did that to me, they would have me by the balls. Literally. I mean,
yeah,
they would literally I would do anything that they wanted. I would never want, my family to know, my friends. Like that would be the most terrifying thing. So if that's ever happened to anybody out there, um, I mean, I just don't know what to say. I just couldn't imagine. It's the same with bullying, I think, right? Like at school when you're getting bullied and stuff like that.
yeah, but, like, I feel like it's worse because, well, and plus that guy, he, like, actually catfished another person in the same town and sent them to the private, like, school meeting about the whole thing, and
Yeah,
so
threatened them, right? And then
yeah,
they were like, "Oh, well, we're not gonna go along with it." He did it anyway. He, like,
he's,
showed
like,
them, right?
using that information to act like he was right there, so then, like, that girl feels like he's everywhere, like, she can't get away from him,
Yeah,
and
that's terrifying.
he wasn't even he was just doing it, like, just to F with people, like, all the way in California living in his, like, mom I think, like, it was, like, his girlfriend's mom's house or something like that.
Yeah, he took it way too far. You can tell he's somebody who's guilty of a lot more crimes that we don't know about.
Well, it just makes you think of, like, that other guy that from Alaska that, had those kids kill their friend.
Yeah, the Shill Miller guy?
Yeah, like, what if it was something like that, where it was, like, somebody, like, at a bar just messing with all these kids and then getting them to, like, do I mean, if it happened over there, it could totally happen elsewhere.
Well, think about this. Let's say somebody's doing that to girls in Indiana and they see, let's say, Anthony shots and they notice it.
Mhm.
It takes a wolf to see that wolf. And he's
Yeah.
like, man, I keep seeing this Anthony shots guy around. And then once he hacks into some of these girls, he starts seeing the messages. What if he chooses to hack the Anthony Shots account?
Didn't Keegan Kline, when he was in Las Vegas, say that he was going to California for some stuff?
Yeah, back and forth. There's something's going on with that trip. Those contacts down there, could include bikers who are into snuff type stuff and
Well,
child
that guy
porn.
Buster Hernandez lived in California as well,
San
and,
Diego, right?
something like that, and it was happening all that was happening during the exact same time, and
Hmm.
the same FBI agent, not the one you did the show about, yesterday, but the
The
other
other
one,
guy, yeah.
I forget what it is, I think it starts with a M.
I know who you're referring to.
Well, like, all the same people are, like were involved with that Buster Hernandez case, and that just seems weird to me because the FBI was on this case so quickly that it seems like I don't know.
Well, the FBI was in town. They were in Kokomo. They were part of that whole. It was like an operation. It's kind of like Grit. They were taking down. They were serving all these search warrants. They were doing all of this intelligence. They had undercover officers. They had people that they had busted, wired. I think same type of situation that happened to Derek German when in 2014 or something. But in 2017, at the end of January and February, they were doing all these drug busts and they were taking down all these gangs like Gabe Ellis. But at the very day, no, 2 days prior, they busted a gentleman for child porn and drugs in Kokomo. And the same FBI agents that were assisting in that case, they were helping with interviews and they were going through evidence. Those are the same FBI agents that showed up to Delphi 2 days later.
Yeah,
And a lot of them are based in Indiana, like Michael Peasley. That's just a drive, a 1 day drive, and he's there.
yeah. Dude, how crazy is it how many, like, predators are, like, I know if you took that same like magnifying lens on any part like of America, you'd probably find that many like uh sexual predators and people that where you're like, yeah, I could see them killing two people. And that like
Mhm.
terrifies me. Makes me like hold my daughter like so close, you know?
Yeah, and I feel bad because the rest of the world is walking around kind of oblivious to it, you know? And you got all these true crime people that are just looking at everybody like, "You could be a killer," you know?
Right. Yeah.
I think it's healthy. But most importantly, all these true crime people, they need to make sure they're taking personal responsibility, you know? They're
Mhm.
not at home, being a bad parent. They're not abusing drugs. They're not hurting people. If they have problems with, being attracted to children, that they're seeking help, don't be a monster. It's a choice that you make.
And like make sure that you're not like neglecting your kids and making them be monsters because
Don't
that's
create monsters.
yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
But I totally like that girl, the girl who is the friend, um, she it just seems so weird. Why would you give out your address to the Anthony Shots account a week after, knowing that your friend had just gotten killed? And like during that interview or with Keegan Klein, they even said that that girl had messaged him and said, "Oh, do you know like did you hear what happened to Libby?" And he said, "Oh, I was supposed to meet her that day." So why would she give him her address right after that?
Exactly. So that's why it could be fake. It could be I what I think it is that a week went by, and they were like, they haven't arrested Keegan Klein yet. Like they haven't, and this is just if we're taking this theory seriously, we're looking through that lens right now. Let's
Right.
say this friend set her up, knowing that Keegan Klein was the Anthony Shots person.
Mhm.
After they commit this crime, it's probably organized with a group of people. In this theory, not I'm not. This is hypothetical. That attacked her or committed the crime, and they see that a week has gone by since the crime, and they haven't gone, and they're not interested in Keegan Klein yet. They haven't even brought up the Anthony Shots, so they come up with a plan. Well, let's call in the fake case, and then we'll just report Anthony Shots. Then that'll bring them right to Keegan Klein, and
Right.
then our plan will begin to unfold the way that we planned it.
Mhm. And like like I could totally see a teenage girl getting like very like jealous and upset that like Libby had been talking to him and like just like with the Slenderman murders and the Scream murder too. Like
Mhm.
there's tons of examples of kids that are just like because everything's so extreme at that time. You feel like that's like you're in love with him or something, you know? And like you couldn't like girls can be so mean. I could totally picture that happening.
Yeah, because it seems silly to us to look at this small argument, but to them, it's the end of the world. It means everything. Like people aren't understanding, or they can't remember what it was to be 14. It was a strange time for me in my life.
Man, it was like for me too. I definitely was up to no good, but also like you're just like it's not there's so many hormones that are like new and just like going through your body. You don't even understand like what is
Well, it's
happening.
overnight. It's overnight. It goes from "I love you, mom and dad," kiss, kiss, hug, hug. Tomorrow, like, oh my gosh, like I'm sexually attracted to somebody,
Hmm.
and you have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, and just like you can get like like so mad so quickly for like not even any good reason. I could like imagine that.
Christopher Fortin, send it to my email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com.
But yeah, okay. I just wanted to call and talk to you about that.
Well, it's awesome whenever you call in because Savannah, every time you do, it reminds me of those conversations we used to have and how close we were before everything.
Hmm.
So I go back to your videos and I watch them about like the days prior and the week prior, and I watch our video together, and I think about all the research I did, and it brings us right to where we are today
Right.
with
Oh,
that friend.
the other thing I was gonna say too is in the interview on uh I can't Web Sleuths with that Tara is actually in that interview. She says that when she got to the bridge to meet Derek to help search, that
Mhm.
saw 2 kids coming off the bridge and that she knew who they were. And, like, I always thought that that was kind of, like, a weird thing to say because they would have been the first ones to, like, start searching because Tara left before Becky or anyone did.
Mhm.
And so, like, if there was 2 kids coming across the bridge that Tara knew, like, that's weird, you know?
Well, I'm sure they were questioned, but it feeds into the whole, the party house, Tara. You
Mhm.
know, those are things we can confirm. It's not like a party at Ron Logan's. Those things we can't confirm.
Right.
But we know there the weekend prior, there's a bunch of kids. We've heard Becky mention that there's a bunch of kids that always hang out, and that the reason that Abby and Libby always wanted to go over there is, well, not Abby, but Libby, is because she was a social butterfly.
Mhm.
And we know about the movies prior, the day before. So all that stuff, it's not pointing at anything, but we even have Becky Patty who mentioned that all those people were questioned and swabbed.
Well, it's not pointing to anything, but I do find it, like, curious that, certain people have, like, tried to maybe, like, lead away from that in certain interviews, or backtrack on it.
Well, it kind of reminds me of shout out to Kristen behind the crime door, by the way. Hello, how are you? It brings me back to what Mike Patty said. He said, yeah, it's okay to look at me, look at everybody, you know, do all these things and look at the families. All we expect law enforcement to do that. But in regards to people like us, armchair detectives and such,
Yeah,
he's like, give law enforcement some credit. So it reminds me of the whole um, Harvey Carroll thing where he's like, you guys can't name the 70 people that are there. Well, I'm giving law enforcement credit, you know, that they
right,
know who those people are. So I need to go where law enforcement can't, and that's into the social media realm, right?
right.
So that's where we are.
Mhm. Well, okay, it was very nice talking to you. You are, as far as I know, everything that like, you've always been so welcoming and encouraging to other creators, and, like, so I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you and your stand-up dude, in my opinion, and, it was nice talking to you again.
I appreciate it, Savannah. I hope that we can speak again. The work that we did together and the work that you've done prior obviously is basically stellar. So I hope that you're going to continue on with that.
Oh, like, this case you can't really, like, let go of, but sometimes you gotta take a little step back because it's so confusing, like, I just don't like, I want it solved so badly.
And you don't want to give law enforcement too much credit, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we want to give them some credit, like Patty said, but we don't want to give them too much credit.
I feel like they like, for a while there, I thought maybe they didn't know what they were talking about, but I really do think, I mean, there's just been so many people and, like, different agencies that, like, they can't all be, like, incompetent. I mean, they could be, but I think they've figured out a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah, and it brings me comfort, like the show I did about Michael Peasley and
Uh-huh.
talking about him and just seeing how qualified he is. Stuff like that brings comfort. So when we talk about possibly like a mean teens theory or maybe a friend, family member that was close to them at the time, if that's going on, I'm sure a Mike Peasley sees it and they may be working on that angle.
Well, like, with that Buster Hernandez guy, one of the problems they had, which, like, sounds similar to Keegan Kline, is they had to, like, prove that he was the one on the computer at that time, that that guy was, like, basically, like, either downloading child porn or anything like
Mhm.
that. So, like, that can be, like, a really difficult thing if there's more than one person in the same household to, like, prove that it's that person.
It'd be cool if certain sites or certain things you had to log on to, like your keyboard had just like something to fingerprint your index finger or something.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you type in or you're downloading like legitimate child porn, your keyboard just like and your computer just snaps a shot of you like
And also shocks you and, like, you die.
spits out poison gas.
Yeah. We don't need you around anymore.
Yeah. We'll just let the situation resolve itself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, okay. I'm gonna get off here and then continue listening to you. Okay.
All right. Appreciate the call. I'll talk with you again soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. What an awesome call. Kristen, you going to call in? We got the lines wide open. Great guest, Savannah. It was good working with her. We were working on this mean teens theory before Keegan Klein even popped out with the burner and with a catfish theory. So you want to talk about who got that part right? We definitely were on the right track. So I feel good about that. Derek says, but then again, what is simple about a very strange crime scene? What is simple about a very strange crime scene? And all the minute involved with 50 people in a corrupt town. I don't know. I just think there's something going on with the little party house, all these teens, um, children being allowed to run loose, you know? Yeah, this thing, I think the whole Delphi case isn't going to be, it's going to need some old fashioned journalism. Oh, did you send me the email? Is that what you're trying to send me? Let me know when you send it over. I'll take a look. Congrats. Are you saying you're pregnant? Congratulations. Yeah, Rain Dancer. I am obsessed. And sometimes I sit back and I think about why, like what it is that has me so obsessed. I think what it is I think once this case happened, I think it was just the tipping point. I had had enough. Um, the same age as my children at the same time, so I had just had enough. I could relate to it. It was almost like it was affecting my child's life, taking away her freedom. Because when I was a young kid, I ran around. I ran around. I walked to school over a mile, like almost 2 miles. We came home late, after the lights went out. We played hide and seek with the entire neighborhood, middle of the streets. Like we just ran around. I I stole that from my kids because I don't know. I couldn't handle the grief the way that the Patties and the Germans and Timmons and all of them. I couldn't handle it. I don't think I could keep it together. That's right. Beach Fairy says, yeah, Sleuth, the kids can lie so casually sometimes. And the parents are so shocked, think their kids know better. Remember one time I was in the car with my mom about 6, 7 years ago, and I was kind of telling her, hey, you remember that time you thought I was doing this? And I was actually doing that. She kind of like plugged her ears and was like, la, 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 like, stop. Purdue says, Sleuth, one channel I was in a live chat and someone asked if we should get a small group together and meet at the bridge. How is that different than what the girls did? I don't know YouTubers. Yeah, I wouldn't trust any of these YouTubers. I definitely wouldn't click up, you know? I mean, you'd have to know this person like Bruiser. I know him. I know who he was. I would meet up with him, somebody like that. And then Bruiser, who vouches for somebody like the captain, Captain Howdy. Well, then now it's even going to take me some time, to get to know him, but I trust him more because somebody that I do trust, um, says that they're a good person or vouches for that person. So I think the only people I would really meet at the bridge would probably be the captain and um, hold on. Looks like we got somebody calling in. Give me a moment. Hello, is this Steve?
I just wanted to say that you're 100% correct with everything you've said today.
What's up, Sketchy?
I mean, you're right on the money.
What's up, Sketch?
You're. I agree with everything you're talking about.
Leaked nudes of Sleuth. Breaking. What's up, Sketchy? How you doing, man?
You hit a bullseye with everything you've discussed today.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's all I had to say.
That's it, Sketchy.
That's it.
All right, appreciate the call. Thank you. Well, the live stream just went sketchtastic. Olivia, I am still waiting for that email. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Let me take a look. All right, let's take a look at this image here. It's pretty good. It's a little pixelated, but we're going to take a look at it. Sometimes that's good to do so you know what's what. Yep. Sketchy, you're just a great person, man. You're just better than everybody. Yep. This image here was sent by Christopher Fortin. I think he put his experience up here. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Chris says, Sleuth, I am a photo restoration expert for 19 years, and I adjusted the lighting and some lens correction on the pic of BG. I want to upload the result. I haven't sent this to anyone. Well, Stephanie. Yeah, do not create monsters. Yeah, Savannah hit it right there on the hit the nail on the head. So let's take a look here. That's interesting. Lisa says, Sleuth, can you surmise anything since Purdue has a big artificial intelligence project to predict and prevent child grooming? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember when I was in my 20s or 30s. Now I work out maybe twice a week. And I really don't even work out. I just hit the punching bag and then go for a walk or a bike ride. Yeah, those girls were scary. And the thing is I've covered cases where young girls like that, they went door to door looking for victims. They're like, we're just going to go kill somebody today. And they went door to door and they found, I think they killed two different people, um, like on the same street. Their one was, and they were 13 years old. They just walked in, they act like they were selling something, and then boom, they just attacked the people, started stabbing them. So those girls, I mean, they were taking down grown people. Yeah, I used to deliver furniture. I was in great shape. Yeah, we covered that one. Who dis says teen girls can be absolutely vicious, just like the ones in the Logan sport that beat and burned that classmate during a sleepover. Yeah, they burned her with cigarette lighters. Yeah, truck driving is no joke, man. I give it to you. I couldn't handle that kind of stress or pressure. Not right now. I need to be able to chill. All I want to do is enjoy a nice cup of coffee, get in a hard day's work, go play some golf, hang out with the family. Those are the things, that's all I need. Ivy says, what if the girl is the person responsible, as stated by Carter? She spoke to the person responsible and later to the killer. We may have interviewed you. The only critique I have on this one is you can't see the motion. You can't see the different frames hidden within the one frame. It's almost like they're all mashed together. Yep. Bridge Burner says, safe to say we all have an unhealthy obsession with this case. I agree with that. Um, but if we're going to be, I guess, stubborn, we might as well be stubborn about something that could possibly be helpful. Because the more attention we can bring to this, the better it is for the case. So if we're going to be obsessed, we might as well be publicly obsessed, where we can try to get people's attention. Yeah, Savannah's awesome. I like bouncing ideas back and forth with her. Yikes. That's like a curse. That's like a jinx or something. Yeah, you gotta like block that shit. Like, boop. Blocked right back at you. Virginia, Tennessee. I can't tell. Yeah. I remember my dad thought it was funny. We were hanging out and I was talking to him and he had like some weird like a bruise or something on his foot. And I was like, hey, what's wrong with your foot? And I think I was like 5 or 6. He's like, oh, it's cancer. I'm dying. I was like, what? And I like freaked out and started crying. Auto release fire ants. They're not aggressive enough. Now, if you can like implant microchips into their head where they attack like a specific person, because I know we have the technology for that. Yeah, I'm not superstitious about black cats crossing my path, but in a way I am. Like I do think about it. I don't go, "Oh no, I'm fucked." But I say, "Oh shit." There's a split second where I'm like, "Oh, superstition." Yeah, she's been knocking it out of the park for a while. Like me, I have a million theories and both of our theories just kind of met right there. Yeah, she'll call in from time to time. We did a show together. I had her on as a guest, and it was awesome. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me scroll down here to the bottom. Super chat. Sleuth Intuition, help me. Can't get over the Ron Logan wearing same clothes. Specifically the hat, similar indents, color patterns. Can't get over this coincidence. Help me convince you. Well, first off, I'll say for 100%, I cannot say that the bridge guy is not Ron Logan. And the only reason I say that, I don't think that it looks like him, but the only reason I say that is because now that I understand how messed up that image is, um, it's really hard to say. But as far as why I think it's not Ron Logan, I'm pretty sure he had a solid alibi, for one. I don't see a motive, and I don't see any reason for him to be down by the bridge. Like, why would he be out there? Why would he even be down by the creek to where he could see the bridge? Now, unless Ron Logan was high as shit on meth, I don't know. But also, they said that the person would be covered in blood. So, for him to be wearing the same clothes means that it would all be covered in blood, especially that hat.
But I don't know how to convince you otherwise. But I do have a report, an article later that came out, um, that basically they can prove that he was in Tippecanoe eating at a restaurant, eating and drinking at a restaurant. Now the question is, who picked him up? Did he drive to the restaurant? Because I don't know if he got in trouble for driving to that restaurant or driving to the dump. I'm not sure which one it was, unless he drove to both. But as far as him being the guy on the bridge, no. Does the guy on the bridge have a large mustache? I believe so, possibly even a goatee. Purdue says also Sleuth. Dissect case as case study to learn from it, including law enforcement missteps. We need to know what and who our kids are talking to online and face to face. Yes, and it's not just checkers when it comes to that with kids. Like, hey, you're not talking to anybody online, are you, that might be tricking you? Like, you got to talk to them about the sophistication of what a catfishing operation might look like. So you have to explain to them they may gain your trust with a younger person, like an Emily Ann, convince you to talk to their older brother, who is Keegan Klein, Anthony Schatz, or, whoever else. It's very sophisticated, and it could go on for, imagine grooming somebody for an entire year just to introduce them to their older brother, who is a killer, potentially. The blood. Yeah. And I mean, he's not going to wear the same thing, And you got to think about, it's one thing, we can see that he can walk down that hill and make his way back up, but he would have had to walk down that hill, go down to the creek, observe the girls, walk back up, walk to the bridge, cross the bridge, fight with two girls down a hill, fight with them crossing a creek, attempt a rape, stage a crime scene, and then walk back up the hill. That right there is going to take at least 2 hours. Maybe. We'll say an hour and a half. So he wouldn't even be on the phone like at 2:09 at that point. And to say, oh, well, he doesn't have to be the bridge guy. The 2:09 call means everything because her on the bridge was at 2:07. Now that's interesting. That's the only thing interesting there is that time. 2:07. It's like 2:07, you see the Snapchat, and then at 2:09, you have the call. So, and that doesn't mean anything. That's just circumstantial. But it is curious. Yeah, when you look at him and you see them wearing that blue jacket and a little bit of white stuff popping out underneath the collar, and he's got something clipped underneath his jacket, and the way he walks and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's definitely not Ron Logan. Yeah, I have a couple frames where you can see him holding what looks to be a cell phone. He's kind of looking down at it. The image that I posted, I think some people were wanting me to explain it. Let me see if I can pull that one up. And this is what I was talking about. So we'll look at it as a whole first. Okay, so if you look at it as a whole, it just looks like this blurry, pixelated image. Thank you, Derek, for the super sticker. But if you look very closely at the face area, this is what I wanted to focus on. I just show the whole body in case I miss something. But if you see here, there's about 5 different faces. You have the upper portion of the face here with partial hat. You have lower jaw here. And then you also have a lower jaw even further down. and then what looks to be 2 or 3 more faces cascading this way. But the one important thing about this image here is you can almost see what appears to be a full face here. And it kind of reminds me of that photographer. You know, the one that wears the weird glasses and the hats? And he had the big mustache and the chops. Was at the crime scene the next day. Kind of reminds me of that guy. Somebody spraying my windows with water. What's up, Grizz? Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. Yeah, so it's like a strange cascading. But here you can kind of see the goatee. So this chin right here really needs to be moved up to right here. So this chin right here. This whole thing right here. First, you need to move this up here and then this up to here. You can kind of see it right here, the chin. Looks like a jawline. What's up, Deb? Hey, Glenn. Honestly, I don't see the face, Sleuth. I wish you could draw over it. Draw over it and outline it. I might be able to. I've never tried to draw on this. Let me see. Paintbrush. Oh, this is like filters and stuff. Hold on. Let me open up Illustrator and see if I can do it there. Yeah, Wanda says on the ID channel, a guy wore a lifelike mask, robbed several banks. They arrested an African American man. His own mom identified as the robber as her son. I know that story. And my retired police friend, CD, who has an awesome channel, he's been laying low lately. We talked about that. He brought that up to me. He seems to think that that's very possible. So. Let's see here. Seems like everything runs so slow when I have StreamYard up. Okay. Can you guys see that okay? Maybe I can make this bigger. Okay. Let's see here. Make this bigger. So you also have, let's see here. So then you also have what appears to be almost him kind of quick looking to the right, and then the other one looking to the left. So also you have basically this part that really needs to move up. Who knows? Deb, you chatting and driving? Better stop that. Ha! I sure did. So I don't know. You guys be the judge of that. Michael Jackson. It kind of did with that nose. Derek Farmer says may appear younger than 18 to 40. How is he going to look younger than 18 unless he is younger? Well, it didn't say younger than 18. Could be between 18 and 40, but may appear younger than he looks or than he is. So let's say he's 18. Maybe he looks 16. I think J. Kyle Keener, I believe. Yeah, he actually filmed Tony Leggett looking off the cliff of that thing, and you kind of see drag marks right where the crime scene is. And he took those photos at like 10:45 a.m. He was on the bridge, and he's the one that took here. I can pull up some of these images here. So he's the guy that took this photo. And as we can see, that's Tony Leggett, who was a homicide detective at the time. And he's looking right here. And this is right by the crime scene. You can identify it by this tree here and this other one laying down right here. He took that photo, and he also took this one. I think he worked for the Tribune at the time. He was on scene as a journalist. Yeah, I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying that specific image reminds me of this guy. So let's take a look at this here. This is a tweet, 10:14 a.m. on the 14th. Bodies weren't found until 12:14. He took this photo and posted this on Twitter. The two missing young teen girls were hiking near the Monon High Bridge, where two searchers looked for them near noon Tuesday. And this is the guy right here. But at the time, he had a mustache and like a little goatee. But he always has these chops. And this guy right here is not Eric Williams, by the way. The witness or one of the searchers. He had a full beard and it's red. And I'm not sure if this is Erskine or not. I don't know who that is. It sounds like if you ever wanted somebody to deliver your pizza, it would be Derek. Beach Fairy says, I get mistaken for up to a decade younger than I am. Guessing people's age via appearance can definitely be misleading sometimes. Guy could be 40 but look 30. Yeah, sometimes people think I'm like 10 years older than I really am. Just joking. A pizza pie. I could see that Bridge Burner because he was down there, you know. And you want to talk about motive? Why not go create your own stories? What's that one movie? I think it's called Nightcrawler. Have you guys seen that movie? Where this guy basically gets sick of chasing crime scenes and reporting on crime scenes. He just starts creating his own. Yeah, that's hella creepy. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it a night. We'll probably hang out here for about another 2-3 minutes, unless we get another caller. But we had some good callers. We had a good impression of Steve by Sketchy. Not bad, not bad. Very Steve-like. And then we had Savannah, who was always insightful. Yeah, Olivia. It's the only way I can get through the messages. I have to slow it down or I can't see them all. Well, they both have their hands in their pocket. And they both can't be the bridge guy. Oh, yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal is a crazy motherfucker in that Sleuth. Yeah. What a creepy movie. If you guys haven't seen the movie Nightcrawler, go check that out. If you want to be creeped out. Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you're trying to send a message and it's within that time limit, it just won't send the message. I don't think it'll do anything red. Derek Farmer with the super sticker. Thank you, Derek. Columbo. That's funny. I like Columbo. Thanks, Jenny. Good to see you. What's up? I'll answer one more question just for Rocky. Thanks, Bossy, for participating in the chat. Yeah, I think this time is a good time to do a little podcast. Try to catch you guys at lunch or doing chores or whatever. You know, it dawned on me. Usually when people tune into YouTube is because they want to listen more than they want to watch. Because that's me. I'll play something and I'll be doing like a chore while listening or something along those lines. Yeah, to me, Apophis says, ask yourself who was parked where the trails on the 13th. I would assume if there was somebody walking or hiding in plain sight amongst everybody else that kind of slid away and changed and then came back, I'm wondering if that would have to have taken place at the Mears lot, or do you think it would make more sense to kind of disappear, cross the Freedom Bridge into the public parking area, put on a disguise, and then come back out on the trails? I'm not sure. I should have known. Thanks, Purdue. Thanks for always being insightful and participating in the chat as well. Yeah, I love to laugh. I've been watching a lot of Martin and Friends, little clips on YouTube. Man, Friends, I forgot how funny that show was. I was laughing so hard yesterday. It was crazy. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking through tonight's podcast. We will do it again soon. Upgraded members, most likely see you later. And we can lay it all out there. And if you guys have anything you need to talk about, we'll address it there. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.